Turn me up just a little bit more. Check, check. Verse 1 to go. Too focused, leaving you unnoticed. It's my problem.
You heard the song Love in the Middle, the #1 song in the country, topping both the media base in Billboard R&B radio charts by my very good friend, hailing from the nation's capital by way of Duke Ellington School of the Arts. He's an R&B star, but just daggone it, he's a star just in general. We're talking about the one and only Kevin Ross joining us right here on the live.
I gotta clap it up for him.
Yeah,
like,
clap it up.
Like, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. That's a good one.
What's up, my man?
What's going on, my brother Guy? How are you?
I am awesome, brother, but in this case, it's all about you. First and foremost, congratulations. I've been waiting to say this for so long, and I guess it's not new to you because I think this has happened before, but how does it feel to be #1 in the country?
It feels amazing, and it feels this much amazing as far as being independent. Being an independent R&B artist is my first #1 as an independent. I've had a #1 before with Long Song Away, but I was signed to a major. So this is really big, not just for me, but for just the ecosystem of independent R&B itself. And so it just allows for people to understand that anything is possible as it pertains to having the right team, the right management, just the right people in place. And you can really do some real damage out there on radio. So I'm really blessed.
I have to say that I love that you focus on saying having the right people around, but it's also about having the right song as well. And I mean, this song really gives that old R&B feel while still matching like some poppy feel of like today's era. So how do you hold on to that true essence of like the start of R&B while still remaining true to yourself in this present day?
But that's a great question. I consider myself like a bridge, right? So, my mom and my dad really, brought in a lot of great music from the 70s and the 80s and then of course me, being a 90s baby and just kind of bridging that gap and creating this fusion in the sense of I want to create something that my mom and my dad would like, but then I want to create something that my little brother and my cousins would like as well. And sometimes that could be a difficult feat, but because I have love and I know, both of their taste in the sense of the spectrum, I try to, go into the studio and try to accomplish that type of vibe each time.
Yeah, it's so cool that you touched on that, Kevin, and I'm talking about family. When I first met Kevin, you were doing your thing. Let me just put it like that. Since then, you are now a family man. Not to say you never were, but obviously you are a father as well. Well, what does that mean, and how does that help you with the writing process, if at all, when you go into the studio and write a song such as this #1 hit, Love in the Middle?
Yeah. To be honest, being a father, it has allowed for me to not overthink the process of creating. It allows for me to, really rely on the gifts that God has given me and not to second guess or to question, the ideas or thoughts that He's placed inside of my mind. And so for me, my job is just to execute and then for me to then overlook to say, okay, or I'm sorry, to look into the process to say, okay, does this make me feel the same way that I felt when I created it yesterday? And then, going from there. But yeah, having my son KJ has been like the ultimate blessing in the sense of creating music and being free to create music because my time is limited. And so since my time is limited, I don't have to think so much. I just really have to react and, make sure that I crank it out. So it's been a really fun process.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking like of the song, and Guy knows this. I recently just got back from Essence Festival, and I got a chance to speak to the legendary John B. And we were talking about how old school R&B, we're missing that now because there's no begging. You know, the men aren't outside begging. They're not groveling on their knees. You know what I mean? Like they're not outside the balcony trying to get back to their girl. Do you think it's time for men to start begging again when it comes to R&B? Like, is that the je ne sais quoi that we're kind of missing?
I'm gonna be honest. I think that yes, as far as like begging or just being transparent and being honest and open in the sense of having dialogue within your songs, making sure that you're creating conversation pieces. And I think that it's as much as it's cool to have a vibe in a song, You want to be able to have records that really get people talking. You know what I
Right.
mean? Whether that's barbershop talk, beauty shop talk, whatever the case may be. But as long as they can see and feel your heart through the music, that's what's most important. And I think that there are artists and their songs that are out there that do that. They may not have the most exposure or the most visibility, but that music is still being created. It still exists. It's the fact that you just have to find it. You have to dig deep in the DSP systems to find these great songs. So I don't think that it's missing. I just think that the marketing behind it, there's not enough dollars that really support that type of music anymore.
Kevin, I think Sylvia just wanted you to get down on bended knee and just start singing to
I
her.
miss that guy. I miss you saying I'll give you the sun, the rain, the moons, the stars, and the mountains. You know, we need a little more of that.
Kevin, one of the things that you do, and you do it oh so well, if not the best, and that is your mashups. I mean, every
Yes.
time you put one together, man,
Gold.
I am just amazed by
Gold,
what you do.
honestly.
How do you come up with that? And is there a certain, do you go in the lab and just say, you know what, I'm going to do this song, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to reach out to this artist?
Yeah.
How does that happen,
What's
man?
the recipe?
I'm gonna be honest. So I always wanted to be a DJ. I always wanted to have like my little pioneer set and do all that stuff. I never had a DJ name or anything like that. But in my mind, I always thought that I can mix songs. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use my musicianship and I'm gonna add this into this mashup series. And so it started off with just me being in these little boxes. And then the next ideation of it was to invite the artists that I was paying tribute to. So Slim from 112 or Case or Mila from 702 and a couple of more people that I have coming up. And so I'm really, really blessed as far as like, I think the mashups have garnered like hundreds of millions of views across all platforms, YouTube, social media, you name it. People have really shown love to it, and it's definitely something that is, I guess, singular and unique to my brand. So
Yes.
it's really cool.
I think that's perfect, literally. I mean, you mentioned being an independent artist. You also mentioned about having the right sound and the team, and then also, there's music out there. People have to find it. What's one piece of advice that you could give to an artist that maybe is on the same path as you or trying to get to where you are? What is one piece of advice that you could give to someone to help to pull them up and through their journey?
Um, I would say truth doesn't change with trend. What God is giving you is going to be for you. I'm a true testament of that. My last number one was 8 years ago, 8 years ago. And so I remember being through the process of people saying, okay, well, why do this when, the best of you was, so many years ago? Are you ever going to get back to having number one records? Is it done for you? And so you just have to have this level of relentlessness and understand that the gifts that you are given is God's truth. And you have to make sure that you refine that, you fine tune that, and you make sure that you learn from each and every experience. You know what I mean? It's not a L, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. And you have to apply that lesson. And so for every artist that's out there, whether you sing, dance, act, photography, videography, you name it, keep going, keep going. Make sure that you affiliate yourself with people as far as your network, people that are next to you. You never know who's going to be who in the next couple of years, especially within the city that we're in, DC, Maryland, Virginia, the whole DMV area. We have to make sure that we stay connected and we build that network because there's amazing talent that is here. And I'm really excited for not just my future, but the future of the city and the creatives that is going to come out of it.
It's not a loss, it's not a lesson, it's love in the middle. And
love
right
that.
now, it's number one in the country
Hey!
for both media base and Billboard R&B charts. Congratulations, my man. Always good to see you.
Congratulations.
Can't wait to check you out. I think I'll see you in September at the Soul Symphony in Atlanta.
That's right.
Well, don't leave
That's
me
right.
behind. I want to go too.
Ladies and gentlemen, he needs no introduction. The man with the master plan. This is Kevin Ross joining us right here on the Live Zone. Truly appreciate your time.
Yes, thank
Thank
you so
you,
much.
guys.
All right, guys. How cool was that?
That was
Man,
amazing.
congratulations going out to him and representing DC unlike any other.
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
going to sit at my desk and listen to the music again. So
We'll
if you
take
see
a
me
quick
swaying,
break.
don't mind me.
We'll be right back.